Hi, and welcome to EDUCROSSROADS podcast. I'm Dr. Barbara Flores Caballero, Faculty Advisor of the Future Teachers Club at Bronx Community College. I'm the creator and producer of this show. Join our hosts, students from the Future Teachers Club, as we explore the biggest issues in education through diverse voices, sharing stories and ideas that inspire and spark conversation. Spread the word.
Welcome back. I am Kimberly Laura, a proud student at Bronx Community College and the president of the Future Teachers Club. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with Tiffany Dubon, a dedicated leader whose profoundly impacted student life at Bronx Community College through her involvement in student life, student government, Phi Theta Kappa, and Womxn Up. Tiffany has empowered countless students to grow as confident, engaging leaders. In this conversation, we explore her inspiration, the initiatives that she champions, and her vision for the future of the student leadership at BCC. How are you, Tiffany?
Hi, Kimberly. I'm doing well, thank you.
Oh, it's so good having you here today.
I'm honored for this invitation to be here, so thank you again.
Oh, thank you. Now let's get started.
Okay.
Tiffany, you have dedicated so much of your work to uplifting students through leadership and service. What first inspired your passion for helping students grow into confident, empowered leaders?
I would have to say my undergraduate experience. I went to a predominantly white institution, SUNY Purchase College, and there it was my, I would say, mentors that kind of helped me through it. After my first semester, I was just ready to transfer out, come to CUNY, be around my people. And my academic advisor, who's also my EOP advisor, she is Latina, she's Puerto Rican. So she was like, well, what do you do besides go to your class, right? You went into a classroom, you felt like you were the only person of color there in a sea of white students. You may have felt like you didn't belong there, like everyone else was more prepared than you are. And so, and then I didn't really have a quote-unquote social life afterwards, right? So I'm in a suite of 7 other white girls. So I really did not feel like I belonged at first. And then after I spoke with her, she told me, well, the social life isn't going to come to your room. You have to go out there.
Yes.
You have to make college your experience, what you want it to be. So give it that try, right? And after that, I was like, you know what, she's right. So I gathered my other EOP friends, the other students that were in the same program. So EOP is very much like college discovery here at BCC. And we started going to club meetings. We started looking at how do we work on campus, right? We looked into work study. We looked into positions like a resident assistant or in student life being a student life assistant, right? And then the more we did on campus, the more we felt like, okay, we have a voice here. We are developing our community for us. And if it wasn't for my advisor, if it wasn't for my supervisors, right, who mentored me throughout all these different positions, I became a president. I held almost every executive position in our Latin organization. And so my advisor for the Latin, my faculty advisor for that Latin organization, he was like, you know what, you'd be really good at working in higher education. I wanted to do journalism. That was what I studied. I double majored in sociology and journalism. And he was like, why don't you enter higher education? You know, you can work in residence life and student life, something like this, because you just do so well in this environment. And I was like, you know what? I want to now be that person that you guys were for me, to make another student of color feel like they belong in whatever institution, whether that is a predominantly white institution, whether that's BCC, right? You know, like, I want to be able to be that guiding force for a student that might not feel like they belong. So ever since then, I pursued my master's, went to Binghamton University, did graduate advisement there with a lot of students, and I stepped out of my field and worked with high school students. I was a teen director for a Boys and Girls Club in Binghamton for 2 years, and I was like, okay, I like this, but I want to get back with the college-age students. And then that's when I came to BCC, and I was like, born and raised in the Bronx. I had to give it back to my community, so of course, and that's when I came and started working here as an academic advisor and now in student life.
It's amazing the work that you have done for the students in creating that platform of becoming a future leader. And with this next question, I ask you, what are some of the key initiatives currently being led by the Office of Student Life to promote student engagement and campus involvement?
Key initiatives. I mean, to be honest, our biggest focus is always student clubs, right? Student events, student government, and honor societies. And with all of those different ways of becoming involved, and civic engagement too, in all of those areas for a student to become involved, there's always going to be student development in leadership, right? You're not going to join a club and not feel empowered to then say, okay, I want to be an executive member, I want to be president or vice president or even secretary, right? You're not going to be in the student government and say, oh, I'm just going to put my name and I'll be a senator, but no one's going to know what I do. No, you're sitting on committees, you're holding your biweekly meetings, you're putting on events for other people. And all of that comes, you get some training, but all of that really comes with hands-on experience. You'll speak to a lot of students that they'll say, I was not good at public speaking. I was very shy. And by the end of my first year in this position or with this club or in this honor society, now when I go to my 4th year, I'm not shy. I'm able to speak up. I'm able to participate more in class, right? Which then increases your retention and increases the institution's completion rates, because now we have students that are like, okay, no, I belong in this classroom. I want to pass this class. I want to graduate. I want to get that degree. So that's our focus, right? Is to make sure that in those different ways, we get as many students to make the college experience theirs outside of the classroom, because when you feel like you belong and you feel a sense of pride at the institution that you go to, you're going to want to graduate. You're going to want to say, I came from that school, right? And when you look at administrators, that's what they care about, is those numbers. So it's very important. Academics get students through the door, but our duty is to keep students in those seats. And the way we do that is by creating community, by creating a sense of belonging for the student. So then when they leave, they're proud. They leave standing up straight, right? They know who they are. They're proud in who they are and what they've accomplished. And they feel that they can compete and sit in the same rooms of whatever other students they'll be sitting next to when they go on and work on their bachelor's.
I definitely love the words that you use, just encouragement, leadership, right? That's the one, and believing in yourself, that you could say, oh, I'm at Bronx Community College, and I'm proud to be part of this institution. And I love the way you put it together. Could you describe how the Student Government Association supports and amplifies the student's voice within the college community?
Sure. So student government, what people don't know is that the senators, right, they hold their biweekly meetings. They hold 2 meetings a month, actually. So they're busy with that. And there are about, I want to say 11 committees that these 15 students have to sit on. And they hold a voice in each committee. They actually have their voting members of these committees. These committees range from academic standing and academic freedom to diversity and inclusion to vice presidents and deans who select who will be our VPs and who will be our deans, and professional development for faculty, staff, and administrators, right? All the way to budget. Student Technology Fee Committee. They sit on the Association Inc., which is the committee that oversees the funding that comes from student activity fees.
Mm-hmm.
They sit on Auxiliary, which is the committee that oversees the budget that comes from rental expenses, right? So that's from people that rent spaces on campus, from our vending machines. So they have a voice in the things that take place on this campus. And so you make a difference in those areas. They also hold 15 voting seats in the College Senate.
Wow.
So big decisions that happen to this campus, they have a say in whether something's going to get passed or not, right? And so a lot of faculty and staff, they'll come seeking for support and or approval from the student government when it comes to certain initiatives and projects that they want to happen, or they want to bring it to the College Senate, right? And so those are the behind the scenes things that student government is really working on that people are unaware of, honestly. And then obviously they also create community engagement events. They collaborate a lot with other areas. They collaborate with First Year Connections. They've collaborated with Disability Services. They've collaborated with Career Development. They collaborate a lot. So they may not have a lot of like single-led events where it's just student government, but they see the areas that might need assistance, right? Anywhere from funding all the way to spreading the word and getting students to attend a specific event. And then they also put on their own events, like, you know, end of semester parties, just to create fellowship among the student body. So they do a lot.
Yes, it sounded very busy, but all these things that you mentioned from the student government and student association, all this is building a voice for us, for a student at Bronx Community College, so we could get the best of the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much. Now, looking ahead, what are your hopes and your priorities for the continued growth of student life and student leadership at BCC?
What are my hopes? I would have to say definitely just increasing student engagement, especially since COVID, right? Since the pandemic, a lot of engagement has gone down, but this semester, we've seen an increase in almost everything that we've been doing, right? Our student club fair just the other day, we had over 370 students in coast and lower level, right?
Yes.
And that has to be record hitting attendance for a club fair, to be honest, even pre-pandemic. I don't think we've ever had that many. So my goal is every event that we put on, that it increases, because then that shows me, okay, students are becoming more aware of what's happening on this campus. They don't see it as just a place where I'm going to go to class and go home. They can see it as a place where, yes, I'm going to class, but in between my classes, I have something to do. Or after class, now I can, you know, go and relax or go learn something from an event or a workshop that we're holding. And that when they leave, a lot of their positive experiences come from the Office of Student Life, right? That they can say, oh, I remember I remember the Latinx Heritage Month event, or I remember a movie night that we did, or something along those lines, or a social justice workshop that I attended, right? Or the certificate that I gained, or the training, whatever the case may be. I want it to be that it comes from our area to show that what we do is important for retention, and what we do is important for degree completion.
Yes, and I love the way you just also said about just being involved on the campus, being in the part of a club. Because, you know, coming to Bronx Community College is not going to just a class.
Right.
It's being part of this community. So that way you can network and believe in yourself, that be like, wow, I did this. You know, I did this, I met new people, I learned new skills.
Right.
So it's so much engagement around the campus. And thanks to you that you were able to do all this for us. What advice would you offer to students who inspires to take on leader roles or become more involved in the campus life?
I would say don't shy away from it, right? I last semester, I did a small poll with the IOC, with the Inter-Organizational Council, for those who don't know. I did a small poll and I asked, do you feel that your membership engagement to get students to want to run for executive positions is lower than usual? A lot of students said yes. And then I asked, why do you think that is? And a lot of students shared with me that, you know, when they've approached other students to say, hey, would you want to run to be a treasurer or a secretary or, you know, a VP, that a lot of them go, well, I'm not ready for that, or I don't have the background for it. And there's no skills necessary to run for a leadership position when you're in college, because that's the purpose of college. The purpose is for you to learn and gain these skills that you didn't have, right? So I wouldn't want any student to feel like, oh, I don't have experience. There's no experience necessary for you to even be a president of a club. What we just want you to have is the drive and the want and commitment to do the job. Everything else will follow. We can train you. We can provide those skills for you, right? You'll gain those skills as you go. But don't feel that you're not good enough, or you don't have the training, or you don't have the skills, because you don't need it. You're gonna get it. And that's the purpose of college life, is for you to learn and build and develop yourself. We don't expect you to come in knowing. It's very different from the class, right? Sometimes you get faculty members that'll tell you, you should have learned this, or you should know this, or you should have some idea of this. No, with student leadership positions, it's none of that. We're not expecting a resume. This isn't a job interview, right? We want you to learn all of that. We love a blank slate, because then it's like, okay, now we can really mold you into the person that you really could be or want to be, right? You can figure out, like, what are my leadership styles? Is it this way? Is it that way, right? Am I a servant leader? Am I more democratic? So you get to find that out by just putting in the work, being committed to whatever it is that you want to do. So I implore all students to get involved on your campus. Do not shy away. You don't know what blessings you're blocking for yourself when you say, I'm not ready, or, you know, that's not for me. You don't know. And you won't know until you try it.
And with you just mentioning that, me, when I started at Bronx Community College, the first day, I was so shy. Let me tell you, my first day of class, I had to present myself. Not one single word could have come out of my mouth. But meeting advisors, mentors, faculty, student itself, and giving me that encouragement, saying, Kimberly, you could do this, it's okay. And I was like, can I really do it? And people were like, yes, you could do it. You got the skills. You just have to believe in you. Yep. And this is what I want the student to know and take away from this interview is, don't be shy. Be yourself. You could do this. If I'm sitting here and I'm doing it, and I never thought I was going to do this, you could do it even better. So thank you again I want to say thank you to everybody in Bronx Community College, because this is a great opportunity. And I just want to ask you, you play various roles in many areas, including student life, student government, Phi Theta Kappa, and Womxn Up. How do you stay grounded and inspired while leading with a purpose across these diverse platforms? How do you do it?
You guys, students keep me grounded. I say that all the time, right? As an advisor for Phi Theta Kappa, for those of you who don't know, that's an international honor society. And these are students, high academically achieving students, 3.50, more than 12 degree credits earned, you know, and that wasn't me as a student. I was not an honor society student, right? When I was in college, and I didn't have responsibilities back home. You know, I didn't have a full-time job I had to dedicate, or children or parents to look after, and to see that as students, you guys have so many other responsibilities outside of BCC, and you're still able to commit to, you know, your grades, your extracurricular activities, and then family life or job or, all these other things, you guys keep me grounded. You guys, I'm like, when students tell me like, oh, I don't know how you do it all, I'm like, you are doing it. You just don't see it in the same way that I do, right? I have the ability to take on these positions or to serve in all these different ways because I don't have a kid at home right now, right? So, and I don't have, parents or any other people that I have to rush home to take care of, or, once I'm home that I have to that not do some work or something. I have the ability to do that, and while I can do it, I'm going to, right? I like to stay busy. And I really got that from when I was a student. When I was an undergrad, I held several positions. I kept my day fully packed. So that grew into me being professional. And like I tell students all the time, administratively, I've been doing this since I was in high school. I went to a business administration school, studied in office technology. So I've been learning tech things since I was 13, 14 years old. I've worked in an office since I was 16 years old, right? I didn't work at a store or fast food or anything like that. So administratively, it's not something that I just gained when I came to BCC. It's been years of practice, right, that I've had. And so, but that's just in my nature, and that's been my experience. And you guys, you have a different experience, and you're doing it the same way, but very differently.
Yes.
You hold many roles. You're not just a student, right? You're a student in the classroom. You're a student leader outside of the classroom. You might be a parent. You might be a caretaker. You might be a full-time employee. You hold all these roles, but a lot of times we don't think of it that way. And you have to break it down for yourself and give yourself grace, like, oh, wait, I do that too, right? Like, yeah, so it's not something, I'm not a unicorn, for sure, right? And so I try to remind other people of that too, like, you're doing it.
Yeah, but the way your presence, the way you do your work, it comes from your heart and the grace that you bring. So when you do your work, it does look like a unicorn flying over the rainbow because you do it with a smile. You do it with love. This is your passion.
Yeah.
And with all these roles that you have, you do it so great.
Thank you. Thank you.
And another role, Womxn Up, has become a powerful platform for female empowerment for BCC. What motivated you to join this movement? And what impact it has had on the women you participate?
So, I'll tell you, and she laughs when I share this story. When I was an undergrad at Purchase, I learned about the Young Lords, right? And at that time, I was president of my Latin organization, and so I learned that previous Young Lord got hired to be a faculty member at BCC at the time. And I was like, oh, wow, like that is so cool. And then when I came to BCC, that memory had totally escaped my mind. And when I joined Student Life and Womxn Up was opening and they talked about Professor Gloria Rodriguez, I was like, why does that name sound so familiar? It was Professor Gloria Rodriguez who I knew about back when I was an undergrad, and I was like, I kind of like got starstruck, right? Like to me, I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe, yeah, right? So I remember my colleague at the time, she no longer works here, she's at NYU, Dr. Ivana Razzo. She joined the original group of the Womxn Up board, and she was working with her. I was just like, I was kind of like a little puppy following around at the time when they first started. And then when the pandemic hit, I was one of the first few people that really learned about Zoom. And I was like, okay, how can we start doing student engagement and activities via Zoom? And so Gloria reached out to me and she was like, hey, do you mind assisting us with some Womxn Up events we need to do via Zoom and stuff? I was like, of course. Like in my mind, I was like, I get to work with this lady, like For real, for real. So I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, of course. And I started working with them that way. And through Gloria, I was able to meet Dr. Monique Gishard and Dr. Mara Lazda. And those three are like my superheroes, right?
Yeah.
Like they taught me so much. I tell them they're my sheroes, my mentors all the time. Because to me, the way some people look at me, I was looking at them like that. Like I was like, wow, they're so educated, and they're activists. They, like I felt empowered by them. And so when Gloria asked me to join the board, I was ecstatic. And I was like, of course, like, and I just wanted to do this work that they did. And I figured, okay, and because I was so close to the student body, I was able to bring in some ideas that I just got from the student body directly, right? Like, okay, we could do a workshop on hair, right? We could do a workshop, like I told them, even things that I've done in the past. I was like, for Finding Calm in the Storm, we can do an art piece. And, we did the different shades of gray activities, or we did an activity where people wrote their own what is it, like positive phrases, right, that they can do in a very artistic way and stuff like that. And they really were my motivating factor with Women Up. And then it really unlocked that potential of like women-centered radical wellness, just activities and programming that I didn't think about before. And after meeting them and after working with them, it really put me in that mind frame when I think about Women Up, and when I work with my, with my female student body members, right? Whether that's through work study, in Women Up, in the student government, through the Honor Society, whatever the case may be, like it kind of put a switch on how I work and try to empower and help all of you embody that confidence that we all really need to move forward in the world.
Yes, and I could only imagine being a Woman Up, just being that leader, having that confidence, and especially being a woman and having that empowerment for any student that would like to join as well, or just be part of the activities that you mentioned, as could be artwork, or it could be just positive quotes that could be shared with among other students as well.
Right.
Very, very nice. I love it. In your view, what makes Bronx Community College students so special? What strength or quality stands out to you about this community?
Resiliency. It's the first and main word for me when it comes to BCC student body. I've worked at other colleges. I've worked at four-year colleges, public schools primarily, and the resiliency that this student body has to say, I'm not going to give up. Or even if they stopped, but that they come back, right? We have students, in the student government, I had 60-year-old senators, right? Yes. We have students, when I was an academic advisor, there were older generation students that would tell me, like, you're my advisor, like you can be my granddaughter or my daughter, right? And then when our session would be done, they're like, thank you so much. I didn't realize how much you actually knew, like. And to me, I'm just like, well, no, thank you for coming back, because you didn't give up on your dream to want to have that degree. And you don't see that at four-year colleges. You don't really see students coming back to a four-year if they tried their freshman year and had to stop, or, they left by sophomore year, that they're coming back to finish that junior and senior year. You don't see that. But you see that here. You see where students are like, you know what? I got pregnant and had to stop, or there was an accident and had to stop, or I had to move away, or whatever the case may be. But now I'm back and I want to finish. And or even I wasn't ready for college right after high school. But now at 25, I'm determined, I'm committed, and I'm going to do it. And not only do it, but do it better than I would have when I was 18, 19 years old, right? And that's inspiring to me.
It is.
It's so inspiring. It makes me, you know, if it wasn't that I don't want to do so much research, I would go for my doctorate because of you guys. Like, you know, the students here are so inspiring.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that resiliency is the number one characteristics that separates our students from anybody else. And then, you know, we got that swag. We're from the Bronx, right? So nobody can match our energy. Nobody can really duplicate it or replicate it. So when you graduate from BCC and you go to another school, you go in with a sense of, like we've discussed, pride. And people are like, oh, you're from the Bronx? And you're like, yeah, I'm from the Bronx. And I graduated from Bronx Community College. Or people say, oh, I didn't know Bronx Community College had a campus. And you're like, yeah, they have a campus. And it's a beautiful one, right? We just have that energy that people like to gravitate to. And it makes you outstanding in a crowd.
Yes. And for me, let me just tell you, you could say I'm a sunflower, you know? And the way I describe a sunflower is sunflower grows in mid-August. So I say I am like growing in the concrete of the Bronx, like a sunflower, because I'm not starting my college in my 18, 20, no. And honestly, I'm in my 30s and I'm still believing, I'm still pushing. So with this, I tell anybody, doesn't matter what you're going through in life, just push yourself. Believe in yourself. Doesn't matter the age, the problem, what you have gone through, or your situation. Just have to take a minute. I could do this. And in your view, up to our last question, looking towards the future, what legacy do you hope to leave at BCC? What words of encouragement would you offer to students inspiring to step into leadership roles?
Ooh, legacy. I've never thought of a legacy per se in any institution I've worked at. BCC is my longest institution. I've been here for 10 years. And I want to say that the memory I want to leave, right? Instead of like legacy. The memory I want to leave for students, faculty, staff, and administration is that my main goal was to build community and to be a village for our student body, right? I want people to know that, you know, if we needed assistance with something, if we needed to collaborate, we wanted to make it happen for the students, that Tiffany was definitely that person that you can count on to do that, because that we cannot move in this world by ourselves, and our students cannot graduate and continue by themselves. They need a village. They need people to help them develop from whatever they were when they first entered BCC to who they want to be and are proud to be by the time they graduate BCC. So that's definitely a memory that I would want to leave with everyone here the day that I leave.
And what words of encouragement would you offer to students?
Words of encouragement is you belong, right? You belong here. If we accepted you here, it's because you belong here. You are needed in that classroom. You are needed in a leadership position. That could be, and it doesn't have to be, a leadership position could be being a member of a club. You don't have to be an executive, right? You can just join a club, and that's it. You already have some leadership skills by doing that. You can be a tutor. You can be a peer mentor for FYP or ASAP or College Discovery, right? You can take advantage of your work study if you get financial aid, right? And do work study in an office somewhere. So just know that you belong and that you should make your college experience yours.
Yeah.
Not one student has the same college experience.
Mm-hmm.
And that power is in your hands to decide on how you want your experience at BCC to go.
It's wonderful of everything that you shared with us today. And thank you, Tiffany, for sharing your insights and your experience at Bronx Community College. Your passion for uplifting students and fostering leadership is truly inspiring. We look forward to seeing the continued growth of the student engagement empowerment under your guidance. To all students listening, remember, your voice matters. And step into leadership boldly and make a difference at Bronx Community College. Until the next time, I am Kimberly Laura. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to EDU Crossroads podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's conversation and found it inspiring. Don't forget to subscribe, share with others, and join us next time for more stories and ideas shaping the future of education. Spread the word.